In a peaceful town surrounded by green fields and flowing rivers, there lived a young man named Aarav. He was smart, talented, and had big dreams. But he had one bad habit: he kept wasting time. He always thought there was plenty of time to do things later. Whenever his father told him, "Time is the most valuable thing, my son. Once it's gone, it never comes back," Aarav would smile and say, "There's always tomorrow, father. Why hurry?" His father was a wise man who had seen the truth of life, but no matter how much he tried, Aarav never listened. Aarav wanted to do great things, but he never took action. He always planned, but never started. His books remained unread, his goals stayed as dreams, and his responsibilities were pushed to another day. His friends invited him to join them in different activities, but he always said, "Maybe next time." Days passed, and Aarav remained the same, thinking that he had all the time in the world. On Aarav's 20th birthday, his father gave him a small, beautiful gift. Aarav excitedly unwrapped it and found a golden pocket watch inside. It looked elegant, shining in the sunlight, but something was strange about it. There were no numbers, just a single button on the side. Confused, Aarav looked at his father. His father said seriously, "This is no ordinary watch. It has a special power. It shows how much time you have left in life. Every time you press the button, 1 hour of your life will pass instantly. Use it wisely." Aarav laughed. "A magical watch? That's impossible." His father just smiled and walked away, leaving him alone with the mysterious watch. That evening, Aarav kept looking at it, feeling curious. Finally, he decided to try it. He pressed the button, and suddenly everything changed. The bright afternoon sun disappeared, and it was night. He looked at the clock on the wall. It had jumped an hour ahead. His stomach growled, telling him it was time for dinner. Shocked but excited, Aarav realized that his father had been telling the truth. At first, he used the watch carefully. He pressed it to skip boring lectures, long waiting times, or sleepless nights. It felt magical, like he could control time. Why go through difficult moments when he could fast forward to the good parts? But soon, he started using the watch more often. Whenever he faced something hard, he pressed the button. If he had to study for exams, he skipped the effort. If a friend needed his help, he skipped the moment. If life required patience and hard work, he avoided it. Slowly, he stopped living real life and only looked for shortcuts. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and before he realized it, years had passed. Aarav had skipped all the hard moments, but he also skipped the lessons they would have taught him. He never worked hard, never loved deeply, never built strong friendships, and never followed his dreams. He had fast forwarded through life, and now life had moved past him. One day, Aarav looked in the mirror and hardly recognized himself. His young face was gone, replaced by an old and tired one. His eyes no longer had the brightness of ambition. He looked at the watch in his hands, which had been his best friend for years. His hands shook as he checked it. Only a few hours were left. He gasped in shock. How did this happen? Where did all my time go? Scared, he ran to his father, who was now old and weak, sitting quietly in the garden. "Father," Aarav cried, "the watch, I used it too much. I wasted my life. What do I do now?" His father, with sadness in his eyes, gently placed his hand on Aarav's shoulder. "My son, time is the most valuable thing we have. You thought skipping struggles would make life easy, but you never really lived. Hard times, challenges, and pain, they are what make life meaningful. You spent your years looking for comfort, but now you see that a life without effort and growth is not a life at all. Tears filled Aarav's eyes as he realized the truth in his father's words. He wanted to go back, to relive the moments he had skipped, to appreciate the struggles, to learn from mistakes, to love truly, and to feel life in all its beauty. But time, once lost, never comes back. He felt deep regret as he looked at his father, wishing he had listened to him earlier. He thought about all the people he had ignored, all the dreams he had abandoned, and all the experiences he had missed. With his final hours, Aarav did something he had never done before. He truly lived. He spent time with his family, helped others, learned new things, and appreciated every moment. He listened to his father's stories, laughed with his mother, played with the children in the neighborhood, and apologized to old friends he had ignored. He realized that happiness was never in skipping time, but in experiencing it fully. But time does not wait. His last hour came, and as the watch stopped, so did his life. The town mourned not just because Aarav had died, but because he had never truly lived. His story became a lesson for everyone. The true value of time is not in skipping ahead, but in embracing every moment, good or bad.